The year is 2011. Adele holds the number one spot in music with her hit song, Rolling in the Deep, followed closely by LMFAO's Party Rock Anthem. The Packers versus the Steelers are playing in Super Bowl 45, and Harry Potter is ending its run of movies with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. At the time, our biggest concern would be whether or not we actually caught Osama bin Laden in the raid. It was a simpler time, more or less, for all of us. Even simpler for us at the time. We were just kids. We'd probably be in third, maybe fourth grade, and all that really mattered to us was what was on TV, when our friends could come over next, and just pretty much stress-free. Little did we know we would be the main selling point for a new video game genre that would come out, Toys to Life. But we don't hear about this anymore. What happened? How did it get so popular? How did it fail? And more importantly, how could it have been fixed? Time for a history lesson. So if you're thinking of what Toys to Life is, trying to find it out on your own, you might not get very far, as toys have been a part of video games for quite some time. Some people would think of things like Nintendo Game Boy add-ons, or maybe even the ROB. But this isn't what Toys to Life is. Not quite. According to Games Radar, what a Toys to Life game is would be a small toy or figurine with an embedded NFC or near-field communication chip that interacts with another real-world object, probably a portal of some kind. And if you mix toys and video games together, it's likely you're going to have at least, a few kids that would want to buy them. And so, a few very popular toy manufacturers picked up on this and decided to make one. The first Toys to Life game, the one we all know and love, is whatever this thing is. And there's a very good reason why we've no idea what it is. It was never around for long, and it was made by Mattel, of all people. So that's not going to end up well. So 3 years after its launch, it pretty much shut down. Mattel trying to let all the patents go away and just be done with it all. But they weren't the only manufacturer to notice how popular it could be. That person that would end up picking up on it would be Activision. Time for our first and last heavy hitter in the genre, Skylanders. Welcome to Skylands, a magical world full of wonder and adventure. Also, a place full of interesting stories about how it was made, but that's not why we're here. A long time ago in a land far, far away, Activision received the rights to a game called Spyro the Dragon and wanted to make a sequel to it, but were very much unsure how. What they ended up coming up with was Skylanders, a very distantly related, very distant spiritual successor. The premise of the game was pretty simple. The main bad guy, Chaos, sent the Skylanders to Earth after destroying the core of light, which caused an explosion which sent them to Earth in a miniaturized frozen form, hence the reason for the toys. And in the game, there existed 8 different magical elements, with 4 different Skylanders each, for a grand total of 32 characters. Each one of them sold for about $10 each, so to get all of them, you would spend about $290, not including your $60 game. Easy. But because they were only $10 each, and no one was going to be doing the math to figure out how much it would cost for each of them, us kids were more than happy to ask for one, as they were even cheaper than most Legos at the time. And popularity skyrocketed. But when something gets popular, it's likely to be copied. Thus bringing in our next big competitor, Disney. A long time ago in a land far, far away, it's California. It's just California. It's California, it's Disney, we get it. I'm not doing the same thing twice in a row. Anyway, Disney saw what Activision was doing and went, hey, we know kids. They like toys. They like games. Why don't we do that? And so they did. As in 2012, they created Disney Infinity, And a couple years later, Lego would pick up on it with with Lego Dimensions. And so did Nintendo with Amiibo a couple years after that. Now, so many brands kids love have games with them. Great! But people were noticing the oversaturation in the market. So many toys take up so much space, and that was their main selling point. The toys, not the games. That's where most of their money came from. And Activision, our front runner, our trailblazer, noticed this. So they began the tradition of the gimmick. A new spin put on all the games in order to sell bigger, more expensive toys that went quickly from the $10 to around $30 to maybe $50, if you were lucky. Not great, but because Activision did it and they're the popular ones, so did everyone else. Their second game in the series was where they started to realize this. It was a massive flop, but the toys sold well, so that's what everyone else did. If you can put out something with no story, but still make a lot of money, why not? Disney tried adding more characters and ended up bust. LEGO Dimensions was a hit and miss, and Skylanders kept adding more and more and more. And so our bubble begins to burst. Disney Infinity would go first, followed by LEGO Dimensions, until finally Activision would cover Skylanders' demise in 2018. So, what was the death of all of them? That's what we're here for. Each other and greed. It was an oversaturated market when it began, and it ended an oversaturated market. Too many people, too many places, not enough people wanting to buy them. And so, our story ends. We've seen the rise of something great, the fall of something terrible, and the lesson we learned along the way. Maybe Toys to Life should be shelved for the time being, or maybe you could do better.